Hi, my name is Clyde Wesley, but in the mountains I'm known as Tracker. Pat Keetch, who is better known as Gert, had seen the tribute I had made to Mad Jack, and she asked if I could do one for her. I knew that would be a major commitment, but I had known Gert longer than I had known Mad Jack, so I told her probably so. Then she added, "Not after I'm dead. I would like to see it." I had to say, "Gert, I am sorry, but that is not going to happen." You see, Mad Jack had shared some of his skills on video, and I shared those back with him on DVDs, so it wasn't much trouble for me to put together some of his videos I already had transferred to digital. However, all of the video I had of Gert and the rest of the Cache Valley Rendezvous were stored on tapes and still in boxes. I retired in 2013, but my plans to edit all of these tapes went away in 2014 when the Cache Valley Rendezvous ended at Blacksmith Fork Canyon. I stayed plenty busy editing other videos I have taken, and the Cache Valley Rendezvous tapes just became one less thing to worry about. My commitment to Gert in 2017 and when she passed away in 2020 were the only inspirations I had to spend the 1,000 hours it took to transfer all of those tapes to digital. So I want to say thank you, Gert. I hope you and all your friends in heaven, all of our friends in heaven, and those still here on earth, enjoy this tribute to you.
See who's gonna see this. Bear Spot, the rest of you guys get your asses up here next year.
The varmint itself?
No, that's a stuffed one. Well, I come up last month and put my tent up a week ago, and I had a whole bunch of goodies in it. Cookies and cakes, all that kind of stuff that I got from the bakery, breads, all that. And I pulled in down there and I go, oh, Stinks. I says, where's the skunk? And these guys up here hadn't even noticed. I opened that tent up, and it was so strong it brought water to your eyes. So I put mothballs all the way around, you know, because they say that's what gets rid of skunks. That night, on this side, you can see the footprints. I heard this. Oh, no. I got mothballs. There's no food in here. There's nothing. Went around my tent and spent about 2 hours in there. And they says, well, speak to them and they'll leave. I said, Skunk, this is my quarters. This is my quarters. And he sat there. Never sprayed. And he lay there till about 4 o'clock and then he left. And they says, put ammonia around your tent. They don't like the smell of ammonia. So just before I went to bed, I poured ammonia around. Now my tent smells like mothballs and diaper paints. And it's been about 2 o'clock every morning. 2 o'clock. So he went around the corner and come in. He come in and he went around, crawled up on my clothes, and he's right here, these little beady eyeballs looking at me like, hi, I'm home. So the next night, and I put cayenne pepper around my tent. Now that works for one night. You can see the cayenne pepper. And well, the next night he comes back in. So he'd come in and he'd go up around where he'd been, around my bed, underneath my bed, and then sat in the middle of the floor. He scratched and I says, I know you're here and so am I. Good night.
Yeah, bringing it in, this one gal said, Gert, I said, Clyde with it.
Well, see my hat? See my necklace?
Found it.
See my beads? I'm collecting skunk gear.
Take a drink and pass it around. And I got this picture just like this with Gert, and I'm like this, and she's like that, and look out my wife looked at that. And you guys had a good time, didn't you? And
I'm looking for Gert. But she and I are going to share the alligator. If I can find her.
There's the new Booshway's office.
Is that?
Yeah, she's doing her paperwork.
The storm will keep the dust down. What do you think?
Well, you know everybody wanted Storm.
You got it.
So this is the Booshway's office. I've had enough shit and everything. Besides, I have paperwork to do.
Hey, let's get a shot of this.
What are you doing in there?
I'm doing my paperwork for the council farm. Ryan's got a few words he wants to say. Dang, I thought I had a chance.
I won't be talking to that long. Some things just seem to happen to you even if you don't deserve it. I understand you was just kind of standing there with a bird flew overhead. Now I want to warn y'all, don't look up when a bird flies over your head. Because things can kind of fall out of the sky on you. So I'm going to name you something here. From now on, wherever mountain men shall meet and gather, you shall be known as Hummer. If there was a hummingbird.
Thanks again for coming!
Thank you guys, appreciate you.
Fargo, and the winner was Tiff. And second on the Wells Fargo was Patricia.
Done hit.
so good. Family portrait. The old, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Hi, my name's Smoke Pole Skunk Woman, wood beater as of yesterday. My name is Gert, and I hail from St. Charles, Idaho, and I've been with the club for ever since they started. I was the first woman to join, and I love this place.
And the winner is Varmit. Hey! Upwards, it's Gopher.
Good job, Gopher!
Okay, Lucy, let your beat.
Hey, everybody that participated, both are naming a raffle for a pistol. The tickets, we're gonna.
Oh, you gonna run with him?
Yeah, that's the dog.
Dog, you never win
This one I did a smoky jambalaya with diced ham and sweet potatoes with a sweet potato biscuit. And this is a grilled peach cobbler with caramel and pretzel topping.
The Bribe says, the Bribe is some gas X. You may need it after sampling this recipe.
Free Trappers for a long time and part of the Cache Valley Rendezvous for many, many, many years. Just like to share a little memory of Gert and Lady Hangingbird. I had the privilege of running into Gert and Lady Hangingbird, and they come up to me and they says, "Are you in your period dress?" I says, I looked around, did one of these. I says, "I believe I am." "Yes, ma'am." She says, "Well, I don't know." So her and Lady Hangingbird started to sing a song about period dress. And it was something, they're doing one of these and shuffling around. And then at the last second, they do this. And all inside their capotes was, how do I put this? Ladies' protection. It was period dress.
Well, I'm Bear's Butt. Some of you might know me. But I've known Gert for quite a few years. But I remember one night at a rendezvous, she decided she wanted to marry this guy named Dry Dog. Dry Dog, come on over here. My friend Dry Dog.
I'm back.
And so the two of them got hitched. And then Dry Dog went stumbling back to his own camp, and Tracker and I helped put him to bed. The next morning, his new wife, Gert, came into camp to see if he had fixed her any breakfast. He was in bad trouble first day off. He couldn't remember marrying her. Pretty bad when that happens. Another time we were on a muzzleload deer hunt, and I think we were around Elk Valley. And Gert and Minnie Skin's wife,
Mule Skinner,
came cruising up in a pickup truck. And they just happened to stop where we were. They were waiting for Minnie Skins to come down the hill on an ATV. And Gert gave me this giant beer, about 24 ounce some kind. And I said, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna save this till rendezvous, and you and I will drink it together at Rendezvous. They were kind of in a hurry that night. So we separated. Next time I saw Gert at Rendezvous, I brought that beer over to her camp and we sat there and drank that beer. It was a great beer. Really good.
Gert and Jackie, and we had that rendezvous on Doc's Flat in the middle of the winter. They took my Subaru Brat to go get firewood. From another unit come pulling in there and say, I was supposed to come back, they got flat tires on your little Brat. Civilian. That was good times.
Now I just need to know who you are.
No Grimace, Willow Creek Free Trappers. Shining times.
So we're the Hootons. I'm Doug. This is my sister Danny and my brother Derek. We all grew up here in Cache Valley with Cache Valley Rendezvous, and Gert is one of the biggest influences in our lives, you know, in the rendezvous scene, as you know, as a mother, as a friend, a troublemaker. One of the things I remember the most about Gert is so we wear our primitive clothes, and people would call them period dress. And one day Gert showed up and she's like, look, I've got my new period dress on. And she opens up her jacket and her dress has got all these women's feminine hygiene products sewn to it, and that was her period dress, you know. So that was super funny. But she also used to always carry like all these treats and candies and stuff in her pockets for us, you know. So usually we had to do something mischievous in order to get it, you know. She liked to get us to cause trouble, you know, not get in trouble, but cause a little trouble. So it used to be a ton of fun.
And you knew she was in camp because you could hear her laugh.
Oh my God, from across the campground you could hear that chuckle. You guys remember when she taught us all how to wear our teepee camo? We'd all put on our white frock coats because they would match the color of the teepee, and we'd sneak around camp, and if somebody thought they seen us, we'd all lean against a teepee or a wall tent with our white frock coats on, and she called it our teepee camo.
She actually got us in a lot of trouble,
She
didn't
did get us in a lot of trouble.
Well, you know, one thing that you might mention, you probably knew Gert when you was quite young.
8 years old or younger when I first met Gert, and was not just in the rendezvous world, you know, we knew her outside of that as well, at her home in St. Charles, and she was always at Smith's. Yep. You know, she was, if you needed your fix of Gert, you just went to the Smith's up in Logan, and you could get your little Gert fix for a minute. Miss the lady for sure.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, I be Varmit. I've been doing this for a few years, and I still remember the first time I met Gertie. She was throwing tomahawks and kicking everybody's butt and having a good time at it. Got to be good friends with her, and the one thing I do remember is she was famous for her Gertie's Diesel, is what she called it. It was some delicious Kahlua she'd make herself, and that's one of my most favorite memories of Gert.
I wrote this poem for Gert years ago. She's a woman called Gert, that's all it said though, but we all know better where mountain men go. By some crazy woman is what she's hailed, and 2 doors by others, though that may have failed. Not many years past, smoke poles suited her. As rendezvous grow, what would she prefer? So many a man has long left these hills, but Gert's here again for the rendezvous thrills. Her camp's always happy, you're welcome to come, but you better stay home if you're not wanting fun. Her cooking is praised from 3 Forks to here, but don't be a camp dog and bring your own beer. When I come to camp, I know if Gert's near, or just within moments, or after I'll hear. She'll take you however you might want to be, but here in these hills, good friends don't come free. That's why she is giving of time and the rest, and you'll find no greater, yes, Gert is the best. First Lady should be the last name we know. Fond memories of her we'll take when we go. And Gert, I wrote this just for Gert, and Gert understood it because it was just for Gert.
By some crazy woman is what she is hailed.
Okay.
Was that her mountain name at one time?
Well, that's what they tried to give her one time. Was Crazy Woman. just because he was a little wild and crazy from time to time.
And Two Doors was another name?
Yeah, Two Doors, she got that name, or they tried to give her that name, at 3 Club Shoot up Fish Haven Canyon. She had bought a small wall tent that had doors on both ends. And they teased her about men coming in one end and going out the other. But, of course, that was just teasing.
Yes. Not many years passed, smoke pole suited her.
Okay, up at Cache Rendezvous, she had gone out of a teepee and walked around the back of the teepee and tripped over the smoke pole and almost fell in the creek. If anybody that knew Gert, you could hear her laugh for blocks. And it was a kind of laugh that you couldn't mistake. You knew Gert was there if you heard her laugh. And she did that quite often.
Her cooking is praised from Three Forks to here.
If you knew anything about Gert, she used to take care of all the Lost Boys. We'd go to Rendezvous. I know I used to joke that I could take a package of hot dogs and 3 cases of beer, and on Saturday send out for more beer and take the hot dogs home. But Gert always took care of everybody. Her camp was always open. I built her a spit once, a fire pit spit, and she used to do a roast, and I called it Smith's Sprinkles. She worked at Smith's Food King at the deli, and she had it was kind of a barbecue sprinkle, and she would bring that, and she'd roast the roast and put sprinkles on it, and as it cooked, we just take a knife and cut a little piece off, and she'd put more sprinkles on it until the roast was completely gone. But she did that for quite a while, and she cooked, anything she cooked was good.
Okay. But good friends don't cook for you. That's why she's giving of time and the rest. So that would be like the cooking. She
would take anybody that came to camp, rendezvous, and make them feel right at home. I don't know how many pilgrims that she influenced. I know when I joined Old Ephraim Mountain Inn, you had to have a sponsor. I was 25 years old, and Gert sponsored me into the Mountain Inn. I knew how to shoot, I knew how to do all the things, but I still needed a sponsor. But Gert did. And I made it a habit every year because she did furnish a lot of food. I would take something, I made knives and tomahawks. She bought this new wall tent and had an awning on it. And I made her a sign out of a moose antler and carved in it said Motel 6. Because she camped right next to the Hiltons, who has a big awning, and so it was the Hilton on one side and Motel 6 on the other.
Okay. First Lady should be the last name that we know.
I always thought, when I wrote that poem, I was thinking of all the names that people had tried to give her. First Lady of the Rendezvous was one they should have given her, because she made the Rendezvous what it was for so many people.
And she was the first woman.
Yeah, and she was the first woman in Old Ephraim's. And she could shoot, she could do just about anything.
I always knew her as smoke pole, and that's kind of what she accepted.
Yeah, that was the mountain man name that they'd given her. Like I say, over the years people tried to change it, but it was either smoke pole or Gert. Right. And most of the time it was just Gert.
Gert. Yeah, Skunk Woman, remember that year?
Yeah, they tried to call her Skunk Woman. That was quite a year when they were on Skunk Hill up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't be around her and not smile. I miss her. Like I say, she is really a great friend. Great friend.